Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight we have returning guest, Matt Benton. We're going to talk about his new paranormal documentary coming out called Man vs. the Paranormal. So that's soon to be released. He's saying probably in the next few days, maybe. We're going to talk about that, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff with that production, and talk about investigating the House of Wills. And we'll also have lines into the show where you can call in. There's 2 Skype lines you can call in. That's going to be the Jbland 00 Skype line ID or the Soup Live Chat 800 Live Chat Skype ID. Then there's also a phone number, 219-230-4444. We'll be taking phone calls probably after the second commercial break. And of course, we stream out Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network if you're watching on Facebook. And if you're on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network, we're streaming on Facebook. We're a webcast and a radio show, guys. So watch it if you want to watch, or if you have to do work, whatever, you can listen at LateNightInTheMidlandsRadioNetwork.com. And of course, like what we do every Sunday night is the World Wide Web of Weird, so we'll get to that here soon. And we'll be with you in just a sec. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. Like I said, I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight we have guest Matt Benton with us. Let me get the share screen up for the people watching on Facebook here. There is Matt. How you doing tonight, Matt?
I'm doing great.
Glad to have you on. You are now out in California. I think last time we had you on, you were in Indiana, so you're now out in California with Rocky himself out there. I saw you recently investigating with him, or partying in Las Vegas. I don't know.
We're in Las Vegas.
You might want to speak up a little bit when you talk, Matt. I turned the music back on yourself. Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit. You were a little quiet. But we want to make sure we hear you tonight, so just speak up a little bit. Maybe we might not come through at times.
Right now, I was with Rocky at Las Vegas. I was checking out the Haunted Museum. And it was interesting, actually.
Yeah. I'd like to get your thoughts on that, actually. And I saw you guys were there, what it was like and that, because I've heard some people, talk about going there, so I'd be interested to hear that. Of course, joining us is my beautiful co-host as well, is Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here as always.
And for me, myself, I'm work retail. It's been a long weekend for me, so I've been ready to do this show. Maybe a little tired, but this is my relaxing time away from everyday life and retail work. So even though I'm a bit tired from working Black Friday weekend, I've been wanting to do this show. And let's go ahead and get rolling into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight in the World Wide Web of Weird, I kept it a little bit short because there's the last article we're going to cover has about a 3-minute video. So there's only 5 articles tonight. And the first one, this is something we've talked about on the show before, but there's a new update on it, is mysterious loud booms heard across the world. We've heard a lot of these stories in the last year or so, these loud booms. And we've definitely covered it on the World Wide Web of Weird more than a few times. So this is comes from Unexplained Mysteries, is mysterious loud booms heard across the world. The deafening sounds which have been heard in a dozen of locations this year remain unexplained. It's a phenomenon that has been reported in countries all across the globe, yet despite widespread efforts to get to the bottom of the mystery, nobody seems to be any closer to finding the answer. The most recent example, which shook houses and prompted several calls to the police from concerned locals, were reported in the United States of Alabama at around 9 p.m. on Monday night. Despite investigating disturbances, authorities were unable to find the source of the sound. Loud booms were heard. We do not see anything indicating large fire smoke or on radar or satellite. Nothing on the USGS indicating any kind of earthquake. The Birmingham, Alabama National Weather Service wrote. Over the last 12 months, similar incidents have been reported in Lapland in northern Finland and Swansea, I guess that's how it's called, England, and the Eyre Peninsula in South Australia, or Ear, totally butchering that, sorry, and many other locations. So, we've reported on these mysterious booms. It's still happening. Is it just, some jet sonic boom and then people think it's that, but they said they didn't have anything on the radar. It always comes up. There's no explanation for these. What's going on? No earthquakes, no nothing. It would scare me if I heard a loud boom and then I couldn't find any information, nothing on radar. It wasn't a plane, it wasn't anything. That's kind of concerning a little bit. Okay. Number 2 on the World Wide Web Weird. This also comes from Unexplained Mysteries. Dolly the sheep had no health abnormalities. I thought this was interesting because I remember always hearing that the cloned sheep Dolly had health problems. Well, this article comes to say that not really. So a new study has indicated that the famous cloned sheep had not suffered from any abnormal health issues. Born in 1996 after 277 attempts to create a viable clone, Dolly the sheep made headline news around the world and remained in the spotlight for several years before finally passing away in February of 2003. Since then, scientists have been analyzing available data to identify any potential health issues she might have suffered from, especially any that might have been a direct result of the cloning process. One of the biggest concerns about her health had been the onset of osteoarthritis in her knees at the age of 5, something that scientists feared may have been the result of her unique biology. Now, though, after re-examination of Dolly's skeleton, researchers at the University of Nottingham have concluded that her condition was actually typical of other animals her age and most likely not the direct result of the fact that she had been born from being cloned. We have found that prevalence and distribution of the radiographic osteoarthritis was similar to that observed in natural conceived sheep and our healthy aged cloned sheep, said Professor Sandra Kaur. As a result, we conclude that the original concerns that the cloning had caused her early onset osteoarthritis and Dolly were unfounded. So that was the main thing they saw. So are they saying this because they're going to give the green light to do more cloning? I don't know. Something bothers me. I just don't. Just because we can do it doesn't mean we should. I mean, there's a mad scientist of me too that thinks, we do need to explore this and see, maybe we can get some cures out of this and stuff. But let's not go making I don't know. I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt tonight. You'll see. Let's not make a cloned army of people or something like that. Let's not clone Arnold Schwarzenegger like in the 6th Day. We don't need any more Arnold Schwarzeneggers. Okay. Number 3 on the World Wide Web of Weird. This comes from USA Today. I don't cover this subject very much because I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't believe in science. Man who thinks Earth is flat plans to launch self on a rocket. But it took science to build the rocket. Okay. The countdown to launch creeps closer, and there's still plenty for self-taught rocket scientist Mad Mike Hughes to do. Last-second modifications to his vessel, pick up his flight suit, leave enough food for his 4 cats, just in case anything happens. Hughes is a 61-year-old limo driver who spent the last 5 years building a steam-powered rocket out of salvaged parts in his garage. His project has cost him $20,000, which includes Rust-Oleum paint to fancy it up and a motorhome he brought on Craigslist that he converted into a ramp. His first test of the rocket will also be the launch date Saturday, when he straps into his homemade contraption and attempts to hurtle over the ghost town of Amboy, California. He will travel about a mile at a speed of roughly 500 miles per hour. If you're not scared to death, you're an idiot, Hughes said. It's scary as hell, but none of us are getting out of this world alive. I like to do extraordinary things that no one else can do, and no one in the history of mankind has designed, built, and launched himself in his own rocket. I'm a walking reality show. The daredevil limo driver has been called a little bit of everything over his career. Eccentric, quirky, full-heartedly, doesn't bother him. He believes what he believes, including that the Earth is flat. He knows this is a thought conundrum, given that he is about to launch himself into the atmosphere. Down the road, he's intending to build a rocket that takes him into space so he can snap pictures and see with his own eyes. I don't believe in science, said Hughes, who remains a sponsor for the rocket, is flat Earth research. I know about aerodynamics and fluid dynamics and how things move through the air, but the certain size of rocket nozzles and thrusts. But that's not science. That's just formula. There's no difference between science and science fiction. This will actually be the second time he's constructed and launched a rocket. He jumped on a private property to Willcomb, Arizona on January 30th of 2014 and traveled 1,374 feet. He collapsed after the landing, and the G-forces taking a toll, and he needed 3 days to recover. Dude, you don't need to build a rocket.
Seeing is believing.
Oh, God. I mean, I honestly, I swear, I'll put the tinfoil hat on this one, but I swear the whole flat Earth thing is some psyop thing to make anything conspiracy theory wise look bad or whatever. They're like, oh, you must believe in the flat earth people. You must be a flat earther. I've heard that. I'm like, no. If you just talk anything conspiracy, somebody thinks you believe in that too. No, not at all. You gonna say something, Matt?
Oh, yeah. Has he heard of NASA?
Obviously not.
He doesn't believe in it though until he sees it up close.
Yeah.
If his rocket doesn't fail miserably, because he's obviously has some few screws loose.
Oh my God, I just don't get it. I mean, why is this happening? Why are people? I just don't get why they can't. I just don't get why people are considering this.
How many of them can they get on that rocket?
Oh jeez.
Hopefully, the less the possible as possible. Probably be better.
Oh my God. Okay, moving on. This is number 4. This is from the Daily Mail. This is cool. This is Ghost Hunter claims his eerie footage of a spectral figure drifting along a corridor is the spirit of the last man hanged at a UK most haunted jail for murdering his young lover in 1909. Ghost Hunter claims to have caught footage of the white-faced, ghoulish figure of a man hanged in one of the UK's most haunted jails for murdering his young lover who dumped him more than 100 years ago. Tony Ferguson, 32, and his wife, Bev, 50, cradle robber, were investigating Bodham Jail in Cornwall on Monday evening when they set down their camera for a moment not far from the execution pit. Without realizing it, they had positioned the camera in just the right spot to capture a real haunting as a ghostly figure stalked past the end of the corridor where they weren't looking. Let's see. Eerie footage, which Tony claims is inexplicable, is confident was a ghost. Shows a white-faced figure dressed in black wandering past while turning its head to the side to look towards the camera. Only moments before, Tony had called out the name William from a plaque, and the investigator believes the figure could be the ghost of William Hampton, the last man to be hanged at the jail in 1909. Tony from Southampton said, "It was insane. I have investigated many locations and seen many things, but never seen activity like this. I can't explain it. It really shook me, and it doesn't normally happen. I don't normally get freaked out or scared, but I always try to remain skeptical about what I witness and try to debunk whatever I capture. That way I'm sure ensures I was real and there was possibly no normal explanation. But I think this is a real haunting. There's lots of residual spirits trapped here in the jail, lots of seen ghosts in person around the place. He doesn't acknowledge those who see him, which makes me think he's just a residual haunting trapped here." I don't know, he looked towards the camera. I don't know. It was just by chance that we put the camera down there and captured the moment he walked through. We weren't able to debunk anything when we went back the next night. That's what was so shocking. Tony is adamant there was no one in the jail while they were there, so it's convinced that what he caught on camera was a real ghost. After revisiting the jail on Tuesday evening and asking the staff to check CCTV to ensure no one else came into the corridor, he claims the footage cannot be debunked. Tony said this place was so active when we were there, we went back the next day to try to debunk it like I always do. When I went back there on Tuesday night, there was a different feel to the place as I built up a story of the location, built up a relationship with it. I mean, if everything he says is true and they can't show that anybody else was in that building, that's pretty crazy footage. I mean, it definitely captured something. It's either a person or it's a ghost. I mean,
I have a little bit more trust when it's another investigator and not some random guy with a camera putting it on YouTube.
Well,
but,
he says he's an investigator. I mean, that's what it says, and that's why they were there and they had the place to themselves. And he's if he went and did everything he said he did, then he's doing his job. And that could be legit footage. And it's hard to say. I mean, that's the thing. We live in the land of illusion. We never know. Unless you knew him and you knew his methods, people that do know him will believe it, They know his methods. People like us, we don't know. We don't know. We just know what the article says, so it's hard to say.
Or if you're the one standing there filming it yourself and you know what you just saw.
Oh, well, yeah, he knows it. If it's real, he'll know it, you know. And, you know, he went and looked into it. So I don't know. It could be cool. It could be real.
They should put a real person. Looks like, what's the difference?
Yeah, they should show another video. They should walk somebody back in the same footage and compare the two. Because, heck, you could get a height difference. If it's a ghost, sometimes they're at a different height level than a normal person should be. That could help validate it, too, you know. But it'd be cool to see a comparison of somebody real walking down that hallway.
And bring out like a kinetic camera or something, too, for fun.
Yeah, it'd be cool. And it'd be cool to run it through some filters, too, to see if you can pick up more of a shape or what it is. You know, I mean, it's definitely a person. It's definitely a person. I mean, it's a person. It's either a person or a ghost. You know, it's not some kind of illusion.
You see the energy. You see the energy moving.
That could be camera pixelation. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
it's so far down at the end of the hall.
Yeah, like I did notice that the movement was interesting, like the way it strut.
Yeah.
But I would like to see a real person there, see what it looks like. What's the difference?
Right, the comparison. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, that's something that he might have done that. That they just didn't show it in the article, or they don't have that video. You would think that's something I would do, is have somebody walk past it and just compare the two in the same conditions.
Play it one more time. Is it bopping up and down when he walks like a hat? Like
it looks like a little bit.
Walks, it goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit of a strut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's like he's got to be wearing some really dark clothes.
Yeah.
His face is pretty lit up. You know, you can see that there's a face, a head there. You can see the ear and the hairline when it zooms in. But the body's black. It's just completely black. You can just see a little bit of legs in it. And again, for people listening on Late Night in the Midlands, if you're ever interested in
right there too.
We put the videos up on the World Wide Web of Weird playlist on YouTube on our Paranormal Soup channel, and I also put up, usually if I can, I try to put up a World Wide Web of Weird edit up on our Facebook page, so you can see these videos if you want to check them out later. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to the last article, World Wide Web of Weird. I said it was a short World Wide Web of Weird. This is a 3-minute video. I'm going to let Jeff just go ahead and play it, and then we'll talk. We'll discuss amongst ourselves. It's about time travel. Yesterday, we received a phone call from a man from South America claiming he had worked for a government project in America. Noah suffers from depression and anorexia, claiming to be from his years of time travel. According to him, he has lived about 50 years. He has taken secret drugs to keep him young. I'm paraphrasing this because it's going by quick. He sent us to the video of managing to read a pre-typed document he wrote. This is him talking about his time travel. It's been viral. We'll discuss.
Hello to everybody who's watching me right now. I want to be clear while making this video. It is not my intent to deceive anybody. My sole objective is to prove to you that time travel exists in the next few years. In fact, I, myself, am a time traveler. I have traveled back to November 13th, 2017, from early in the year 2021. First of all of time travel will become possible in the year 2003. It is, however, only used by top secret organizations. The ability to time travel is not planned to be released to the public until 2028. Sorry, just give me a minute.
It's all right, Snowflake.
My natural year is 2021. This is the time period in which I spend most of my life. This is the time period that I belong in. But I've been fired. I can't get back to my time.
You can get fired from time travel agencies.
I'm stuck here.
Noah's clearly having trouble coping with this stress. Don't feel bad. We sent him $700 worth of food and water to help him get by for a while.
I would like to give you specific facts about the future that prove to you time travel exists, including who the President of the United States is in 2021. In just 4 years, you will see that my predictions are true. Then you'll come back to this video and know that time travel really does exist. In 2028, the private organizations will admit to the world that time travel is real, and it will be open to the public. Now I will tell you the reality of our future. For one, electric cars and self-driving cars will be dramatically improved. A consumer electric car will be able to drive over 600 miles on a single charge in 2021. Many people are spending a lot of their time in virtual reality. I would highly recommend investing your time and money in sustainable energy, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. AI will also be a huge and growing market in 2021. Wearable technology is also becoming increasingly popular in 2021. There will also become a very popular device, sort of like a Google Glass, that will look like a normal pair of glasses, but have the processing power of today's desktop computers, if you know what I mean. It will be equipped with a high-definition video camera and augmented reality screen. Now I'm going to tell you the winner of the 2020 presidential election in America. I promise that the president of the United States after the 2020 election will be Donald J. Trump. I can say this with 100% certainty. I know many of you will not believe me, but I am simply telling you the truth. I am not giving my opinion on Donald Trump, but rather giving you the real, raw facts. This is my intention, whether you like it or not. He will win the re-election, do what you want with these facts, but time travel is real, and I'm a time traveler. Thank you for listening to me. Wish everyone the best future. Goodbye and good luck.
Jason?
Yeah.
Has he recently woken from a coma?
Why do you say that?
Like, to me, it just seems like someone who's just waking up to hearing all sorts of things that his mind just can't comprehend.
Well, there's an article,
Like,
I don't know.
Too much information at once.
This is an article in expressuk.co.uk, and it's been viral. Is this video, this guy claiming to be a time travel. You know, we had the John Teeter time travel stuff. I was really, it's in my opinion, probably most likely a hoax, but very well done hoax. Very interesting. This is a video now. Is it going to turn into that kind of thing? I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. But proof of time travel. Futuristic man from 2028 issuing chilling warnings and video clip. I'm not going to read the whole article. Like I said, just from express.co.uk. But this video has been on YouTube from the YouTube channel Paranormal Elite. Noah, who did not disclose his last name, claims that he risked his life to travel back in time to warn people that the technology exists. The so-called time traveler said, "I'm not attempting to deceive anyone. My sole objective is to prove to you that time travel exists, that I myself am a time traveler." So he tells you the whole thing. He got fired from the time travel agency, I guess, that he was working for. The predictions. So he's made these predictions. My comment is, they're all tech predictions, which we can all kind of see where tech is kind of going. There's always a blind spot. I mean, there's always things that are going to happen tech-wise we would never saw coming, but there's a lot that we do. I mean, look at Star Trek.
And we won't know until it actually even happens.
Well, now I'll give him credit. He's making predictions that are close. It's not some far-off predictions. He's saying 2021, 2028. These are not far away, and he makes the Donald Trump prediction for 2020.
But that's the thing. He has a 50% chance for that.
That's stealing my point. Yeah, sorry. That's exactly my point. It's a coin flip. I mean, maybe not everybody thinks it's a coin flip. A lot of people think it might be a bold statement because they're like, there's no way he's going to win. And there's other people who are like, oh, he's totally going to win. Whatever your political alliances are or whatever, I have none. To me, though, it's 50-50. There's only two people they're going to be running because it's always Democrat and Republican, So the technology is. Give me a prediction that's really specific, like that. Just there's no denying it, because if he gets lucky and hits all these things, then his video is going to be viral for many decades to come. Like, this guy was a time traveler, and he hits the viral gold, But
like the Nostradamus of time travel.
Right. Go ahead, Matt.
I was just saying that he's flipping the coin to become famous.
That's what I'm saying. The technology stuff. I mean, we already know this about Google trying to do this with the Google Glass. I mean, he made a very bold prediction of the fact of how powerful that Google Glass is going to be in the future, and we know how fast technology is jumping. I mean, look where we've come in the last 50 years. So, I mean, all these things.
Guy, he got fired and somehow broke into his old job and then traveled into the past. Okay.
Yeah, and he's stuck here. He's stuck here. He does, I don't know.
Back or anything.
Okay. Wouldn't he have been like a wee bit too late anyway, since we're pretty much halfway through that.
No,
We were
so
already talking about Google Uber flying cars and stuff.
And self-driving
come back.
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all everything he made prediction-wise. It's like, yeah, we see that. We see that
I
coming.
mean, that's
Virtuality.
progression. That's the way it's going.
Yeah, I mean, everything you see in your social media is all about that. So, I mean, just make a prediction. If you're a time traveler, come back here. I'm totally into the time travel thing. I'm here listening and waiting to give you a chance. Give me a time travel prediction that's specific, that isn't a coin flip,
Yes.
and that isn't some like what everybody else is predicting. You know? All right, we'll get to our first commercial break. Hang in there with us. People on Facebook, you're going to hear a little bit of quiet because we play music on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Matt Benton, Man versus the Paranormal, Devil Hour production. We're going to talk about his new documentary coming out and his adventures into the paranormal. All right, guys, be back with you in just a few minutes. All right, tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guest is Matt Benton. Know him from been on the show a couple times. We've had him on here with Christopher Rocky Gates. We had him on here with Justin Brown. We've done some ITC experiments with his Solomon app. Matt's a great investigator, and he's got a new documentary coming out here very soon called Man versus the Paranormal. We're going to talk about that and everything that's gone into it. Yeah.
I hate to interrupt, but did you see Ira's comment a little while ago?
About the music?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just I had to turn it up.
Okay.
That was all. All right. So, yes, there's music, guys. It plays on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network, and I have to control it with a little knob here, and I just forgot to turn it up. So, all right, let's go ahead and get to our guest. All right, how you doing tonight, Matt?
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, I play music on Late Night in the Midlands. It can't go out to Facebook because Facebook doesn't like it, but I have to turn it up, and it's hard. Sounds fine on my end sometimes. Sometimes I realize later on I had to turn it up a little bit more. So sorry for Late Night in the Midlands if you were only hearing a little bit quiet at a moment, but I did turn it up. So tonight we're going to talk about your new documentary. It's scheduled to come out soon. You got in the next...
Sometime in 2018. I don't have an official date yet because it's a lot of post-production, and also I'm making it to a very high quality, and that takes a while. And I'm very, let's say, picky of how I want my editing, and also I'm very OCD about it, I guess you would say. So, yeah, I don't know when it's going to be released, but the trailer is going to be released very, very soon, either at the end of November or the very beginning of December. Because right now I was planning on having the trailer done for this, except I made a mistake. I left my laptop with my hard drive with Rocky in Las Vegas. So now I'm not able to get the trailer out for you because all that footage is in that hard drive, and Rocky's keeping it safe for me until I get it on the 28th or 29th. So yeah, then the trailer is going to be edited for you guys.
Hold on a second. I'm having problems with Late Night in the Midlands. He's saying he's not hearing our guest. Streaming. I don't know why.
Is that one person or multiple?
Well, that's the little program director that's saying it. He's listening on there. Should be. Everything's selected. I don't know why. I don't know what I could do to fix it.
Because you hear me fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're not hearing you fine on Late Night in the Midlands. I don't know what to do, Ira. Sorry, but not on L&M. How could that be?
Jennifer said it's fine on Facebook, is what Jennifer said.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's just not on the radio network, which is weird. If he's listening to what they heard at the beginning, I had to have you talk louder. We'll have to go with it, Ira. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know what to do because it's streaming like I've always streamed. I haven't changed a single thing, so I don't know. Anyways, going on. How did this all start for you doing doing this documentary? What got you to decide I'm gonna put a lot of time and effort into making this documentary? Because this has been a couple years in the making, hasn't it?
I started investigating in 2011, and it was actually 2012 when I thought of the idea. And I was actually watching Survivor Man, that show where this guy goes into the wild for one whole week by himself with no camera crew. And I was like thinking, that would be an interesting concept for a paranormal show, and also a psychological experience for me, and something that I would learn a lot from, and seeing what that would be like. So I decided to do that back in 2012, but I didn't feel like I was experienced. Waited for a long time until I gathered enough equipment and filmmaking experience before I decided to make this film, which I decided in 2017 to finally be able to do it. So it's an interesting concept because it's something psychological. You're not talking to anyone for a long period of time. It's just you in the building, and it's whatever's in it, entity-wise.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure this out. There's still not hearing you on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network.
And I'm hearing him cut out just slightly here and there.
Yeah, that was the internet connection slightly. We're doing it. I'm trying to watch the levels as he talks, see if I can make a quick fix to this. One thing, Matt, you're doing this, when you're going out and deciding, what went into deciding what locations you wanted to put in this documentary?
Well, actually, there's a long process of that too, because a lot of pre-production was involved with this film. I was trying to figure out which one's like a perfect, not only very haunted by the claim, each building to have its own character and environment, and also each building to be creepy to some people, I guess, in some ways. So I finally was able to find these 3 locations. Also, it needed to be within my budget because obviously I would love to do Waverly Hills or other big asylums and stuff like that for the film, but they would be charging an arm and a leg.
Oh, yeah.
So it had to be within my budget, and also locations that were, active and had its own character. So I decided the Monroe House for the first place. That place has been calling me from day one since I've learned about that place. And very interesting things were uncovered during my investigations there. And also for the next location was Higginsport, was a last second thing because some scheduling issues happened on Madison Seminary. So I actually went to Higginsport last second. I was the second person to ever investigate the location, and it turned out to have a pretty amazing piece of evidence, and I can't wait to show that out because it's something I never captured before, and I finally captured it. So I'm pretty excited about that, and was something on command. I'm not going to say what happened though.
Oh, you don't give too much away, right?
Yes. So it was very awesome for that. And then there was the last location, which I love. This location was for filmmaking, it is a spectacle to film. It's something, the House of Wills is very dark looking. It's totally my style. It has a Satanist owns it, but he goes by it's more of a philosophy, his Satanism. He doesn't worship the devil or anything like that.
Right.
He does have some interesting artwork though, and that's actually what inspired my my poster shot for that location. And the artwork he has in there is like Jesus and Mary having sex and cut the bodies in half, blood and gore, everything, and then a couple things with the crucifix inside of a baby and stuff like that sticking out. A lot of gory stuff. It's very interesting. And for the poster, there's some interesting stuff about the poster too that I did. You've seen the poster, right? You guys have seen it. I actually was going to have. I was coming to an issue. There's a shot that was envisioned in my head for about 2 months before I decided. Actually, not 2 months, a month and a half. Before I figured out what I wanted to do with this picture. It was going to be different than the other ones because the other ones was pretty much just me in front of the building and some cool shot. This one I wanted different. I wanted it to be a little bit more artsy. And I thought of a shot idea that was actually inspired by the Logan poster that they have with his hand.
Wolverine.
Yeah, it The name of the movie is Logan, though, and 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 it showed. I like that shot, and I was like, I want to see if I could imply that with paranormal stuff. So I decided with this location, I decided to use a crucifix and have blood streaming down my hands, down the crucifix and dripping off the crucifix, and then have the House of Wills in the background. It was a pretty cool artsy shot idea that I had in my head, and now it's finally reality, which is really cool. And I was coming up with an issue, though, because if I wanted to redo the shots, if I had to redo the shots, I couldn't because of fake blood staining your skin.
Right.
So because of fake blood staining my skin, I decided to use my real blood instead, just in case if it didn't work out. And so I know a phlebotomist, not going to say who, but I know a phlebotomist that helped me out. And she or he drew my blood, and I used it for the shots. So it's all real blood in this poster shot, but it worked perfectly for how I envisioned it.
I'm sorry, I am listening, but I am like trying to fix a problem right now, and I just figured out how to fix it. So sorry for people if they'll hear me now. We've been cutting in and out on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network because I'm trying to. I think this is the problem that I think Michael Vera might have been talking about the other night was with Windows resetting or updating, changing the settings on with this thing I used to stream out to the radio network. And I think it did change my settings on it, and that's why it was all screwed up. That is, wow, I get why Michael Vera was going on. That is a bunch of crap. It totally changed my audio settings. So hopefully now we'll be all right on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. I apologize, Matt. I had to fix that because it's streaming out there, and I do have people listening on there. So hopefully now it's fixed.
Yeah.
So people listening late nights, you might have missed a little bit. We've been talking about Matt Benton's paranormal documentary, Man vs. Paranormal. Now, one of the places is that's going to be filmed in there, and you've talked a little bit about, I'm interested in, is the House of Wills. What's a little bit of the history behind that place?
Well, this was like it was originally a funeral home. Actually, I don't know if it was originally. Actually, it was a funeral home at one point, and also it was built by a Mason. And it built the trap within the energy of the location is what he was saying to me, Eric Freeman.
So, like, it's like
Probably
a ghost trap? Like, is he like trying to build like a ghost trap to trap spirits?
More like the energy of, I don't know if it's mainly spiritual or it's just the way he was explaining it is like each room has its own energy, and he wants to like its own feel to each room and stuff like that. Kind of like a mystery house. It's really awesome. This location is way better in person. A picture do not do this place justice. It's really awesome location. It's very interesting, and I also really love filming. Actually, this was my favorite place to film because of how much B-roll I could get here. It was really fun, and also it was the one where I got to do my favorite poster shot.
Speaking of, I was trying to get. When you're talking about it, I was busy. I was wanting Jeff. Jeff, he's if you can pull up some of the behind the scenes stuff too here of this poster shot he's got for his new documentary coming out. Hopefully Jeff is there to pull those up. But Matt's got these pictures that we got. You there, Jeff? Uh-oh. Jeff might have stepped away. Hopefully Jeff is back. Yeah, Jamie, see if you can find Jeff to pull up those pictures. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's got them. Well, this is the poster. Oh, there he goes. This is some of the... That's it. Yep. This is Justin Brown there standing over to the left, and Matt here with a bloody hand and cross.
Yeah, I love the look on Justin Brown's face. It's hilarious.
It is. It's like, it's kind of like, are you done now?
Like, what the hell am I filming here? Or what am I taking?
Right. But it's cool. I mean, you have, there's got to be a little bit of marketing behind when you put a lot of work into something that you're doing. You do have to advertise it right. You can't just go, oh, here's my film, man. Will you watch? You got to get people's attention a little bit. So Is there any
And
kind
it's resourceful.
It is. Used his own blood, people. His own blood.
Yeah, it was a problem that I was thinking of a lot, and I was actually doing a whole bunch of research on fake blood that doesn't stain skin. Apparently, you can't really buy any of that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use my real blood, and it worked out fine. Actually, it was funny because on my way to California, I totally forgot I had this in the glove compartment. I still have some of my fake blood. I mean, my real blood with me, actually. And I need to throw this away somehow. Dispose of this probably the right way. Don't want anyone for rituals or something.
Yeah, man. You better watch out for those witches, man. They do some powerful stuff with your blood. So you went and doused the blood and got it on the cross and filmed this. Now you filmed this where? Where did you guys take these pictures at?
At House of Wills.
It was at the House of Wills outside. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we had some looky-loos. Like, what is this guy doing? And I tried to hide the because what made this look like real blood, completely real blood, is these. And that was becoming an issue. So I mean, so we're trying to hide that. We're just trying to make it look like, oh yeah, we put fake blood on us, but on me, but not really. And that it actually made it look like someone got shot in the streets. So,
you got to imagine if some other investigators came up to this place and they saw the blood on the ground, like, dude, is that real blood?
Yes. And it was starting to dry up at the end. And oh yeah, the funny part is I had to go to some restaurant to wash it off. So I like literally snuck into the restaurant without them seeing me because I didn't want anyone to call the cops.
Yeah, so you're lucky the cops weren't called. You're lucky the cops weren't called. Somebody saw that.
One day a crime's really going to be committed there, and that their DNA is going to cross over with your DNA. And when they do that cotton swab...
Nope, nobody gets murdered there, Matt.
Yeah, actually, I have proof of what I did, though. We have photos and stuff.
I know.
Like that. So,
So hang on to them.
yeah. It was so. Yeah, I got to do exactly what I envisioned for that poster, and I was pretty happy with it at the end.
So
Cool.
the release, the trailer's coming out in the next few days or so, but the release you're shooting for 2018.
Yeah, sometime in 2018. Like I said, guys, this process of making a full feature film, a lot of work, and I had to work a normal job.
I know that feeling.
And also other future plans I have with someone else. So this be tough. I want to try and get it out 2018, hopefully sometime within the middle of 2018. So we'll see what happens, guys. I hope it comes out sooner the better. So I'm excited to get it done, though, because it's something I've been envisioning since 2012. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Do you have any other spoilers you can share with us a little bit about what we could expect to see in this documentary?
I'll just say that I've captured one of the best pieces of evidence I've ever captured. In this one of the locations, I'm not going to say which one. Actually, I think I already did. So Higginsport, Higginsport. It was I captured something amazing, and same with Monroe, and some things uncovered that I want to kind of reveal in the trailer, to be honest, to get the shock factor.
What you can talk about is give us a little bit of the history on like the Monroe House.
Monroe House was actually, it's kind of interesting. Even the Facebook page got it right. It's the mysterious Monroe House because there is not a lot of facts involved. It's a lot of rumors.
A lot of urban legends.
Yes, and involving like abusive father that was abusing their children, and also a wife, and then also Monroe House, not during Man vs. Paranormal, but during a investigation there with Mike's team. Actually, yeah, it was with Dig Paranormal a little bit, and also some of my team members. I got oppressed in that location to where I felt very angry for no reason, and I knew it wasn't me, so I stepped out the building to recover. And that's very rare for me to be oppressed like that. It's only happened to me twice in my life while investigating, and this happened in the Blue Room. And I had to get out because I'm not going to take it out on my team when I know what's happening. So I left the building, and that was very interesting because it also happened to two other members of the team too. A couple hours later.
What was
So,
I was gonna say, what's that feeling like? Describe to the audience that feeling of oppression. What's going on in your mind, or what's going on? You're in this location. I know as an investigator, it's happened to me only a couple times in the number of years that it's happened, and it's very rare. But describe what that feeling's like, because I have an idea.
well, first time was different than the second time. First time I was at the Rialto Historical Site in 2012 or 2013. I was this is when I was part of Soul Seekers. I had a moment down in the first floor area, right next to the stairs, where I felt these emotions of a female, and she felt very sad, and it was something that I couldn't explain. My heartbeat was going crazy for no reason. I wasn't running or anything. I was just standing still. Heartbeat was going crazy. I started to shake too, like a lot, and you could see that on the camera a little bit of the camera shaking. It was affecting my body in a weird way, and also having these emotions of this female that feels like she's lost something. I'm thinking probably the little girl named Christina. It was very interesting feeling. Like I said, I'm not a medium or anything, but there's certain times when you have that connection that you get with an entity or spirit or whatever you want to call it. It's very interesting. And for me, that was an experience I actually I felt honored to have in a way for the first one. The second one I didn't really like because I don't like that type of emotion. I don't want to be angry, and that was something that was a little bit different too. It didn't like affect my body as much. It more affected just my mindset, and that's why I wanted to get out of the building, and I did, and it went away. Nothing was taken out on the team members because I knew what was happening because it's happened one other time, and it was something that I knew wasn't me at the time. So that Monroe House, I felt that negative, probably abusive spirit from back in the day. When
It makes you want to snap on people for no good reason at all, right?
Yeah.
It's that little like it's kind of anything to irritate you.
Yeah, it irritated me, and I really had that under control when it came to the snapping. I didn't snap on anyone. I just knew that it wasn't my emotion.
You could feel it.
I got out of it.
You know, the first instance
Yes.
you described actually sounds like you were feeling like adrenaline. Your first
adrenaline.
experience, because of the shaking and the way you felt, sounds like you could have been experiencing another spirit's moment of terror.
Not only that, actually, it's not the first time that entities affected my heart. This one, well, I've already told you one on a previous episode for the other one. It's 3 times an entity has affected my heartbeat, which is crazy to me because our hearts have an electrical pulse in it. And that's what creates the pulse. So it actually kind of makes sense in a way if entities are made out of electromagnetic energy and they feed off of that type of thing. So it kind of makes sense that entities could affect your heart. And it's done it 3 times to me before. I've already explained one of them, which is it's pretty long. So you guys can check that out in an older episode with me. But another one that happened I didn't explain, I don't think, was I was at the Yellow's Miners Cabin in Virginia City, Nevada. Dante and I were going to sleep. We did our investigation. This is when I was part of Soul Seekers. We did our investigation and everything. Wasn't really getting anything, so we decided to go to sleep because we had Old Washoe Club next, and we wanted to have a lot of energy for Old Washoe Club. So when we were going to sleep, all of a sudden I got woken up by my heartbeat going crazy. I'm talking about laying down sleeping. Heartbeat's supposed to be as calm as possible, and all of a sudden my heartbeat started going crazy for no reason at all. Not a bad dream or anything. Actually, I don't even think I was dreaming at the time. And all of a sudden, my heartbeat woke me up because it was going racing for no reason. And sure enough, what made this even more interesting is Dante was feeling the exact same thing. And he got woken up by it. Yeah, and we're just laying down and also feeling like we're being watched for a bit. And the heartbeat was going crazy, wasn't stopping. And then I tried to go back to sleep. Then my heartbeat started coming back again like that. It was a weird experience. Very, very weird.
It makes you wonder, I mean, that to me, that's the scariest side of it. Your theory, if they can affect your heartbeat, and you've had this experience, could they kill somebody doing it? I don't think so, but you wonder what effect a spirit could have on your physical condition, and if they could affect your heart. I mean, I know I've probably seen. I've seen probably too many movies. One of my favorite movies is The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox, and in that there was like the Reaper figure that was going in, like, as a ghost and killing people by giving them heart attacks. You wonder if there's a powerful enough spirit, if they could affect somebody's heart, affect their nervous system. I mean, people experience these things, like, just the adrenaline rush you have. It can affect your physical state. What a spirit could actually do to you on the inside.
I think
It's kind of a
that's
scary thought.
entirely why people sometimes say they died so young or unexpectedly, or they didn't have heart problems before. Like, where does scared to death come from, originate from,
We've had it.
I don't.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
When being scared, the thing is, when these happen, I don't really get scared, to be honest. Even for Man versus Paranormal, I did not get scared really, and you're going to see that for one of the things that happened. But it's, for me, I think of the paranormal like completely normal to me now. It's like you're so used to it. Like, I've experienced almost all of the stories of like poltergeists, apparitions, etc., etc. I've experienced almost all of it, even a minor possession, etc. So like it's a little bit different when you experience it all and never been badly hurt.
Well, then you're able to control that emotion, where, like, some people, you hear about people that, we know, Jason, that, was having some recent issues, and certain things was kind of heightening the fear and feeding off of that fear. I think if they can keep feeding off of that and just psychologically making it worse for somebody, inadvertently could end up, causing physical harm to them.
One of the very earliest shows, it was like the 9th episode, we did a Paranormal Soup. We had a guest on. We had Katrina. It was the first time Katrina Cooper was on the Medium, and we had, remember, Sandy, and her husband. Her belief was her husband was killed by an entity that gave him a heart attack. I think he was only like 38 years old, and I mean, I believe her when she was there when it happened. I believe that that's what she believes. It could be definitely possible. He didn't have any previous heart conditions or anything like that, and he did die. And it was under, when they were talking about trying to get a deliverance for him, when he was suffering what they believed was demonic possession, or at least being demonically influenced. So you wonder if it's possible.
If you're more used to having experiences, those signs coming on, the feelings when they're coming on, you're able to regulate it more and keep yourself more in like a meditative check, where some other people just might, they can't handle panic. They just overly panic.
Yeah, for me, I've always been able to handle bad situations, even when I had someone aiming a gun at me. And also when being shot at, I'm completely calm. And
that's good.
Yeah, so it's during situations like that. Also, like even a car crash. For some reason, when that happens, I'm still at 100% calm at the moment until afterwards. My adrenaline starts coming more, and I don't panic or anything. But for me, I think it's not rational to panic in bad situations.
You're a lot like me in that way. It's like, well, while it's happening, you're just going through the steps. When you think about it later and you think about what could have happened, whoa, does your mind start to go. But while you're going through it, you just got it A, B, C, and D.
Don't panic. Yeah. But I think most good investigators have learned, like you said, the paranormal is normal to you, and that's how it is to me, is not to have a jump reaction to things. You don't want to, you want to be able to analyze it in the moment. We get ourselves to that state too, because we're trying to observe something unusual or not normal to most people and document it. And if we jump and get excited, it affects what's happening. That's one of the things I've always tried to keep in mind when I'm doing, if something's going to happen, to try to keep myself as calm as possible, because I want to observe it. You're not going to observe it very well if you're jumping up excited about what just happened.
You know what? I'm a big believer that your mind is very powerful, and you could overcome anything if you put your mind to it. Believe it or not, when I was younger, I was shy. awkward. I was not good at speaking with people. I was very had anxiety issues and everything. I couldn't stand up to a crowd. I couldn't talk to like certain people I didn't know very well, and I was awkward. And until one day I got so sick and tired of being like this, I decided to be more outgoing, try to be outgoing, and also I did some drama classes to get over the fear of being different and also being mocked for certain things. So I decided like your mind can change things. Like I don't have anxiety for a lot of the things I used to have for now. My anxiety is it's not related to any of what I'm doing now anymore. Like being on camera, I could handle now. I could do these interviews like no problem, et cetera, et cetera. That the old me couldn't do that, and it's because your mind is. If you put your mind to it, you can change completely. And
you having said that, I never would have known. Congratulations, because you did an awesome job overcoming that.
You know, I relate to that because, you know, I was never a shy person, but, you know, I remember being in a band and being a singer and playing in front of an audience for the first time. You do have to, it's like when you put yourself out there, you do have to find a mental way to push yourself through it. And then once you do, it's like once you break on through, it's, you know, it's, you're fine. You know, it's just, you have to like, just that one moment when you know you're going to be in front of people or people are looking at you and you got that big anxiety. And if you just like put yourself, for me, it was always a dissociation. Like I'd see myself from the outside and just let it go. And that's how I would play on stage. That's how I would do in debate or, you know, when I did speeches, stuff like that. You know, I just detach myself from myself. I don't know. It's a weird feeling, but I do it on the show, you know. It's just how I break on through, and I got over any kind of anxiety or nervousness. Jamie knows how nervous I am before a show. Before a show starts.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement. I think you had it locked on me for a moment.
It just stays on whoever the last person's talking.
It actually still amazes me to this day how much I changed because I recognize me as my youngest. Different.
Cutting out a little bit there. We were doing good.
Okay. Did I lag?
You got a little laggy, a little robotic. Okay. But I think you're gonna be all right. It's gonna happen sometimes. You know,
yeah.
You're in a new location with the internet. You said you're out in wine country there.
I need to get a direct line right now. I'm on Wi-Fi. But like I was saying, like you wouldn't have recognized me when I was younger. Just letting you know, I was a completely different person. And also, I wouldn't talk to anyone. I wouldn't. I would only talk to adults because I could actually intellectually relate with them. I couldn't intellectually relate with kids my age at the time. So I would talk to them, talk philosophy and stuff like that. It was I was a weird kid. I watched a lot of documentaries. Also.
Me too. Probably had a very similar childhood. And go ahead.
Science. Also, I got into.
So doing this too, investigating places like the House of Wills or the Monroe House. You said House of Wills your favorite location and all that. You do a lot of these locations, but is there one? I mean, besides the House of Wills, is there one that to you is proven the most to you, like the most active?
Okay, that's a hard one.
Because I know it's like fishing. When you go to these places, sometimes it's like, wow, things are jumping, and then you go again, and it's like crickets, nothing.
I don't know if I should say this part. Okay. Oh, shit. Shoot.
It's all right.
Okay, so I'm not going to say anything for House of Wills because I want to save that part for the documentary, but I would say that that first two locations, I had some very interesting activity. And I don't know which one's the more. Well, let's go with Higginsport just because of the best piece of evidence there, and there is activity on Monroe also. So I can't really say. It's really hard to be honest. They're kind of equal for two of them.
Which, out of these two, you hear people talk about, we're talking, about, during the World Wide Web Weird, that investigator was saying he believed that footage she captured was residual, not an intelligent entity, just a playback.
Mine was not. It was
Intelligent. That's what I was going to get. So you feel like it's an intelligent entity, entity,
Yes.
and I should say entity or person that's passed on.
Say that and you broke up for a second.
You're the one. Yeah, you're breaking up on us. Uh-oh.
Am I doing good now?
I hear you, but you're still stuck on your face. There we go. Now you're coming back to us.
Okay. Well, what was the last time you said you broke up when you were talking about?
Well, what I was saying is that which one of these you were? I was just saying about being intelligent and being residual. So you felt like which one did you feel all of them were intelligent, or do you think anything was like that residual playback kind of theory that a lot of people believe?
First, I had intelligence. In the first two, I had intelligence. Second one, there's something very. Third one, I should say. I mean, House of Wills. There's something very different about that location. I think it feeds off of fear.
Ooh.
And let's just say. This location, since I didn't have any fear, I didn't. I was going to say this for the documentary, but I guess I'll say it for this show. But I didn't get anything for House of Wills because I had zero fear. But I did get okay, I shouldn't say that because I haven't reviewed yet. But from experience-wise, I didn't get anything from House of Wills except for when I was with interviewees. I was starting to get things and having experiences, and that's because they were fearing that location.
I get that. I totally understand. I totally believe that. We're on the same wavelength on that. There's a place we investigate quite often called Crown Point Jail, and one of these times they do a haunted house tour, where they get people in the costumes and scare people and all that during Halloween. And we've always wanted to do an investigation. We haven't got to do it yet. Right after everybody closes up and leaves, after we've had all these people come through there, get the crap scared out of them, and see. Because I know I've been there with people that have been kind of newbies to the paranormal and have a little bit more fear when they're there, especially when they see these rotted old jail cells and stuff like that. And we've had stuff happen. Then I've been there with people that are all investigators. This is all normal to them, and there's really no fear. We're just like, we're having a good time, and it's crickets. I don't get much evidence. I've seen the difference at this place, and so I'm like, one of the ways I want to test it is I want to see if we get a ton of activity after one of these haunted house things I got going on. This is one place I'd like to test that at. You need to bring some newbies in there, like you're saying. You have these people interviewees. Bring some people in there and let them spend some time, and then come in there and see what you get.
I realize that sometimes when you bring newbies, you get more activity sometimes because they are fresh and they are thinking of so many different things and feeling so many different things that could affect activity. Actually, another thing I realized is that when I started doing this, I started getting different activity for the years. Like when I first started, EVPs were very prominent, and then all of a sudden, the farther I got into my doing this, I've been getting EVPs a lot less. And now I get, I guess I see visual stuff or capturing more visuals or objects being moved is starting to get pretty active for me. I've experienced it 6 times so far, 5 or 6 times. Any accounts again. But 5 or 6 times I've seen an object move or been around an object moved by itself. So that's very interesting. I see different in activity throughout my years.
And you're just talking at different locations, or just at like House of Wills, or just different locations?
Well, from when I first started to now.
Okay.
It's changed activity, and I think it's because when you first start the paranormal, you get a little scared, a little bit. For me at least, like you don't, because it's more unknown to you. You don't know what to expect when you first start out, and once you get really into it, you start to understand there's something to be afraid of, and it's actually more fascinating to me, at least. It's way more fascinating than being afraid. It's something you want to learn more about.
Oh no!
You're
breaking up on us, Matt. Oh no!
Dang.
We had him on before the show. Yeah, we had him on before the show, and was holding steady, chop up, but man, this last couple sentences you were breaking up quite bad. We heard it. I heard most of it, but you are starting to break up. Darn it, dang Wi-Fi.
I want to get disconnected. I just got here pretty much in California.
Yeah, I know.
I would have connected and ready to go. What was I saying? Like, it was like, damn, I don't remember what I said. What was I saying?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought there. You're breaking up a little bit. But no, we're talking about, just your, the way activities changed for you over the years. And for me, getting EVPs, when I first started, I remember getting some crazy EVPs starting off. And you wonder did your own little bit of slight, I don't think I had like major fear or anything at all back then. Because to me, I've been experiencing the paranormal since I was a child. But for me, it was maybe a little more excitement and maybe a little more expectation or something, when I first started.
When I first started, actually, I wasn't afraid of it unless I was by myself, because I was trying to do by myself things since the beginning when I first started, just because I wanted to experience it. I always push myself. I try to push myself to the limits and mentally. And so I wanted to right away start and see what it's like to be in certain locations by yourself. I remember being afraid of it when I first started in 2011, in 2012, but then I got super used to it. And especially after doing Man vs. Paranormal, it's literally no problem. I can handle isolation with these things.
After you've sat in the dark by yourself and talked to yourself in a haunted location for a while, you get used to it. And it's not a bravado thing or anything like that. It's just you get used to it, and it doesn't have that effect on you anymore where you get that slight little bit of fear being in the dark by yourself. What I've done, I work a lot, you do like haunted locations that are more historic and stuff that I do a lot of residential, like people who are living in their home. And dealing with paranormal, and I will put them on audio, video cameras that I can monitor them. But I will ask them if they are willing to sit in a room in the dark by themselves and try to communicate with whatever's going on in their home. One reason I do it is to get them used to it, to face their fear a little bit, And the other reason, I will be honest, is because I get some good activity out of it. Because that person's what's fueling it. Most of the time when people experience something paranormal, what is it? They're by themselves. They're by themselves and alone, and the house is quiet, and something happens, or they're in the dark and something happens. So it's my way of trying to recreate this setting. Because investigators come in, we like I said, we're all used to it. We're having a good time, and this is what we love to do. But that's an energy. That's an energy that changes what that environment's not usually is, what people are living in. So, that's one of the reasons I do it. I definitely think along the same wavelengths when it comes to that.
What's interesting, I want to mention, this is just through my experience. I don't know about you because you do more client cases than I do. But out of all the client cases I've done, I think.
Uh-oh. Breaking up.
Yeah,
you're breaking up.
Okay.
Try
How about
again.
now?
I hear you now.
Okay. I'm seeing a pattern for when it comes to my client investigations, and that it seems like for some reason they are involved with drugs a lot with a lot of my clients. Not all of them, but there's a lot of them that I'm realizing that are just involved with drugs, and I think it causes that it's just them mentally, and even causes activity because of their state. I don't know, but.
If it's demonic, I mean, I'm not saying, for me, demonic is rare in my opinion, but I do believe it can have influences on people. And you listen to the Malachi Martin, the demonologist, on what they need to be able to affect you or afflict you, and drugs and alcohol can play a big part into it, weaken you enough to let them get a hold or afflict you.
Yes, and I thought of all that when I was doing those cases, and that's just why I was giving it a chance. But for client cases, I usually won't have much luck. I do them that much though. I like doing big historical locations because I'm a filmmaker, and also I love history. So I think that's the main reasons why I do big locations like that. And also I want to go to locations that are already renowned for the paranormal. I'm okay with other people going into this to helping other people out. I think that's actually a plus, that something I get to do sometimes, and I like that. But the main thing I joined the paranormal for is the science of the paranormal and uncovering more.
They're all different paths, you know.
That was the main reason.
There's no one better than the other. There's just different, you know, people different specialties.
And so many avenues to explore. We need all these different people interested in all these different aspects, because not one person could sit there and study like everything.
You know, there's no experts in the paranormal field. You know, that's the first thing I was taught. You know, nobody's an expert. We all have these things we're more better at than others in certain parts of the field, and that maybe more knowledgeable in certain areas. But nobody's a total expert because we're dealing with something we don't totally know or understand still. You know, that's what we're all trying to do. What you say?
Basically a lot of theory.
Yeah,
it's basically a lot of theory. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we talk about the residual and stuff. We're going to go ahead and hit our last commercial break, and then we're going to take callers into the show. When we come back, we'll talk, Matt, more about his experiences in the paranormal and his investigations. And you can call in the show. We'll have the Skype lines open, and we will have the phone lines open for you guys. All right, back with you in just a few minutes. Tonight we have guest Matt Benton, Man versus the Paranormal. We're talking about his new documentary. It's going to be coming out in 2018. Soon to have a trailer up for it. Talking about his experiences as an investigator. Talk about some of the places he's been, like the Monroe House, the House of Wills, and we're going to talk about his experiences. But you can call into the show if you got a question for Matt, or you want to share your paranormal experience with us and get Matt's opinion on it. There's three lines you can call on, 2 Skype lines. The Skype IDs are OOJBland00. That's OOJBLAND00. Or Soup Live Chat 800 Live Chat. That's this video Skype line if you want us to see you. And then you can call in by phone at 219-230-4444. That's 219-230-4444. All right, let's get back to our guest. All right, still there with us, Matt?
Oh, yes, I am.
Hopefully they hold the Wine Valley internet connection going out there. But
Wine country.
Wine country. We were talking about, you know, some of the experiences you've had as an investigator. You know, you do. I see you. You know, you post yourself. Now you describe you are a demonologist too.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research on that for a while, and I've also did some training with Bishop James Long, some of his training that he provides for people to go do themselves if they want to. And yeah, so if you want to check that out, he actually knows what he's talking about. So I would get a lot of his information from him. And for me, though, I'm a little bit different of a demonologist because most demonologists are religious. They believe in they're 100% Christian usually, or
this is something we've talked about on the show, actually. This, you know, because I've always said, you know, demonology has interested me, but I've always, you know, everybody that I know that are, you know, legitimate demonologists, and I'm not saying that's what makes them legitimate, but they are religious, they are Christian and faith-based, and I get it. I'm agnostic. I question everything. So I always wondered, could somebody be a demonologist and not be pertain to any certain religion?
Yes.
I'm going to have you entail more.
Wait, what?
I said you were breaking up there, so I was just waiting. To hear more about, you know, so how does that pertain? You don't have any specific religious belief, but you do believe in the existence of demons and their influence. Because I do too.
I believe in the existence of dark entities.
That's how I look at it.
Yes, I believe in the existence that they, for some reason, like to use their names sometimes too. Which I find very interesting and actually still spikes my interest in the whole Christianity belief, is mainly because of that. And also I've had personal experiences with seem like angelic light beings 2 times in my life. So the whole light and dark entities I definitely believe in. Don't know if it's completely Christian base or the Bible, from the Bible and everything like that. Not too sure because I'm very skeptical minded and also I think scientifically. But I do believe in dark and light entities that are not human. Yes, I do believe in that.
If you experience it like me, and you have, you definitely know there's something to it. There's a dark side and there's dark entities. I've experienced enough to know that, but it's for some people that's good enough to say they're demons, they're devils, and I believe now. For me, even with my dark experience I've had, I still question what it is. I still question religion in itself, and just it's in my nature. I don't know if that'll ever change.
Yeah, and I think that's healthy. To be honest, for especially an investigator, I think that you should always be very skeptical in everything when it comes to the paranormal. You should actually think like a skeptic completely. I think that you should question your results. You should question for something completely natural. I think that should be the proper way of investigating, in my opinion. And I go with things very scientifically. I have a lot of knowledge of demonology because I wanted to know more of what these entities I dealt with in my past or with what other people are experiencing. And it seems like some of it is coming from...
Give it a second here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're breaking
Am I good?
Sounds like you're good again. Okay.
I don't know how much of the people are getting from what I'm talking about.
You just break up at points. There's certain points where you'll stop, and then other times you're going good. So we'll keep trying.
Well, yeah, it's very, very interesting that I find with the demonology because it does seem to correlate with Christianity a lot. It still fascinates me, and I also believe exorcisms work because they 100% believe in their faith. And I think that has something to do with their power of faith, of believing in it, and it actually works for exorcisms. And also those exorcisms that take sometimes years, sometimes months to actually be successful, and sometimes it's not successful. But it's... And as a demonologist and also as a exorcist, it's their job to differentiate that. And yeah, there's a lot to it. It's something I'm always going to be skeptical because I don't think I'm going to ever get a definitive answer about it being demons or the devil or angels.
I call it semantics. Tomato, tomato. What you call a demon, somebody might call an alien. I don't know. I mean, they are extraterrestrial in nature. They're not from our plane of existence, at least, or interdimensional or extra-dimensional. We do have a phone call on the line. Our ever great caller into the show, Zach, with his great questions. How you doing tonight, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good, Jason. Hey, Jamie, how y'all doing?
Doing great. You have a question for our guest tonight?
I have two questions, but I'll promise to keep them as short as possible.
You're good.
Matt, it's good to see you again, man. I just wanted to piggyback off of the discussion about fear. My question to you is, in your opinion, would you say that emotions are the strongest form of energy that a spirit can use to manifest themselves? Why or why not?
I don't know if it's the strongest form of energy, but I do believe it has a big factor when it comes to paranormal activity. There's poltergeist cases, which are also, it seems to be correlated a lot when it comes to poltergeist cases. So yes, I do believe our emotions do affect an investigation also from my own personal experiences and research. I don't know if it's the strongest form, though. I can give you that information. Don't have any data for that.
Okay. Okay, cool. And my second question is, excluding the investigation that's in the upcoming documentary, what would you say was your favorite case that you covered, and what was some of the evidence that you captured from that investigation?
For the film, specifically?
No, excluding the film.
Okay, because I can't give any information about the film. But okay, not like that at least. Okay, I want to say my best visual piece of evidence I've captured was back in 2012 at the Vail Ranch Historical Site. Actually, I'm back in Temecula, so it's not too far away from me. So this location, I captured something I still cannot explain today. It's amazing to me. It's a mass phenomena that was captured on a older Bell and Howell camera I captured, and I've never seen anything like this before. It was like this ball of mass that's in frame for a good probably I would say 8 to 10 seconds. It's on frame, and it actually shoots off. There's someone in front of it, and it shoots off right past him. Here's the thing: we're in pitch black at the moment, so we didn't see this at the time, and also means that it does look like it shows its own light because of the pixelation and of the mass is a little bit seemed brighter and a little bit clearer than the rest of the shot. So it looks like it has a little bit of light to it, very, very minimal. It could just be visible in IR or in the IR spectrum. So we did not at the time, and I didn't see it. I reviewed the evidence, and it was something phenomenal. I still can't explain it. Some certain people were looking at it that do debunking, they could not completely explain it either. And they don't believe in the paranormal. They couldn't really explain this video.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Matt, for answering my questions, man. I greatly appreciate it, and I can't wait to see the documentary when it comes out next year.
I can't wait to have it released. But the trailer is going to get you guys hyped, trust me.
Well, thanks for calling in, Zach.
All right, thank you so much for allowing me to call in, Jason. Y'all have a good night.
You too, bud. Talk to you later.
That was just one of the experiences. There's I could give a lot more, but that was probably my piece of evidence. Just letting you guys know. So
For me, I've never gotten anything really great visual video that I've just been like in awe of. My main body of evidence has always been audio EVPs. I've gotten a little bit of stuff on film and that, but I've never been lucky in that area. Yeah, that'd be an awesome piece of. I've seen that kind of thing with my eyes. When I didn't have a camera, when I first started out, a black mass that flew through.
Justin Brown. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, Justin Brown said the exact same thing as you. He saw that with his own eyes before, what I captured. And he says that he believes that apparition is probably a image, probably a psychic image usually. But then I've seen other videos out there that be legit too of apparition. So I don't know if that's 100% true, but I do believe in the whole psychic image phenomenon being because I've had investigators tell me, oh, they saw something right here, and the apparition, and I go review the thing.
Oh, you're cutting out bad. Damn.
Area, full HD, nothing shows up on the camera. So I do believe in the whole psychic image phenomenon where you picture something in your head. Maybe that is an actual spirit, or it could just be your imagination. That's a kind of a spirit connecting with you and visually showing itself, or if it's just your imagination. We can't really tell. Something that we're going to probably study brain waves for.
You broke up quite a bit on that one, but I know what you're talking about with the psychic image. It's like, do some of the things people see, is it something that could have been recorded with a camera, or is it just something projected into their mind by a spirit? Or imagination, of course. But for me, for what I saw with my eyes, I don't think it was psychic projection. I think I was peeking my head up into an attic in an old church that became a theater, and I saw this black mass just go floating by. And if I would have had a camera as soon as I had gotten up there, I didn't have one in my hand because I was just getting up there, I think I would have captured it. That's what kills me.
Yeah, I do believe that they are visually seen too. Definitely believe in that, because some people get to see it for a long period of time, and it's not like quick. Most apparitions I hear about are quick, like kind of people. But when you get to see an apparition full on for a long period of time, I think that's probably legit, and hopefully you capture it on camera.
Well, when you talk about the psychic projection thing, I believe that's possible too, because I saw a statue, little Jesus Christ baby, in a Virgin Mary holding the baby Jesus in a Catholic church, and I saw his little fingers do this. To this day, I'm like, at that point I didn't have a camera. I didn't have a camera because we weren't supposed to release any footage, so I didn't really want to capture anything footage wise if I can't release it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a camera on. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. And I saw this, and I'm like, I don't know if I would have seen that on camera, because I think it had to have been a projection in my mind. There's no way in my mind I can think it could actually move, solid stone fingers. So to me that would have been a psychic projection. But so I think it's hard to. I think you kind of know. Like for me, that's something I knew was like some kind of psychic projection put into my mind. That's how I've always felt. I think sometimes you have a gut feeling a little bit about it if it's something that's being shown to you compared to something that if you had a camera, you would capture it.
Yeah, the one thing about that though that I found interesting, like I said, is like I said, I've captured video. Okay, I filmed an area where I've had one of my investigators say they saw something there and they are super sure of it, and it was standing at this one area. I go review the cameras. This is an IR spectrum, and also it's it's an IR, so it sees in another light form that we can't see. So you would expect it to capture, but there's nothing there when he saw it, and he was very sure about it. So I'm thinking stuff like that, psychic projections, probably an entity doing, or probably just an imagination trick of the brain. Don't really know, can't really prove it. So, but I do believe apparitions are legit too for big.
Well, psychics are seeing stuff all the time other people aren't seeing. They're getting images.
We all have that.
It can happen to anybody, not just a trained psychic.
Yeah, I believe we all have the ability. We just need to untap that in our heads somehow. And, I should say mediums, maybe psychics too, but definitely, I think it could be untapped. I'm a sensitive now. I think I've been like that since I was a kid, but I believe it's because society kind of takes it out of you, especially me today. I've been getting more and more wanting to go the science route instead of, more spiritual. And I think it's because it's the only way to change things in the field is if you actually bring real science to the paranormal field and not just only spiritual. I do agree that it should be spiritual, because your body's a great tool for capturing evidence, I believe. And I think that's my route now forward with is the science of the paranormal though.
You got to have science, but I also think too, mediums have their place to help in a way as they're like a canary. Yeah, it's the same with me. I have my sensitivities, and I've had them since I was a kid. But I like you, I don't approach my investigation with it. I kind of separate the two, and I kind of put the sensitive thing off to the side and just note it to myself, and that's about it. Because that's not how I approach things. But I do use mediums, I'm sure you work with mediums too, and they're like the canary in the coal mine. They're going to let you know when you're in the right area. They'll give you to me, they be as a tool can give you the best chance to capture evidence, because they can see things you can't and feel things you can't sometimes, even if you are sensitive, to lead you in the right area. If you're working with a good medium, which I've had the pleasure of doing.
Yeah. I believe in mediums. I've met a couple. The only issue with my investigations is that there's no science to back them up at the moment. I would actually have to have better equipment than I I forgot what you call them, but pretty much detecting brainwaves, and that collecting data like that would be very interesting with the medium. If any of them are open to that, I wish they would be. I think that would be awesome to study more.
I know many the mediums I know would all be open to something like that for sure. Being tested like that, but like you said, it's having the money and the equipment to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think you can validate a medium. If they're telling you they're seeing something here or they're feeling something there, and you capture evidence that correlates to that gives some validity to what they're saying. Or they tell you something that they had no pre-knowledge of about a location, and you're able to research it and find out, yeah, that's pretty much dead on, as another correlation. It's in a way validating people's experiences, because it's not just mediums. People have these experiences all the time. Like you said, everybody has this ability a little bit. So I like to help try to validate those experiences the mediums are having, because to me, I've had those experiences too, and I want to show that there's something real to it. That people are able to tap into this kind of information.
Oh yeah, I find mediums, legitimate mediums, very very fascinating, and want to work with them more because there's so much more to learn.
Oh no.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you were breaking up. I heard what you said, but I think you stopped when you realized you were breaking up. That's what happens. You see it and then you stop. I swear, next time we get him on,
But
people,
yeah.
he'll have a better connection. We'll have him good.
Yeah, I want to have.
Yeah, but
Hopefully,
we all
Here's the
learn
thing.
from everyone. So that's very true.
Now,
just
you
got
have.
to California. Didn't
Hopefully, you don't break up on this part. We've had on the show, we tested out the Solomon app. Now, you've had some new updates for that app come out. You've
Oh, yeah.
had some changes. You want to tell people a little bit about the newer stuff with the Solomon app?
Yeah, I was talking to my good friend Matt Payne that helped me out with the app a lot, actually, and because he's the one that does the apps. And what I changed, and I actually told him that I would want in this would be to change frequencies, have a sound frequency that could change either your atmosphere probably, or even you could actually use it for cross-checking, improving audio manipulation. Also, with the frequency change, if you get a voice with one of these frequencies on, that would be insane. You should not get that. And you could go play it into one of these boxes. It sounds very cool, actually, with the frequencies through these boxes. This is the Banshee box.
As I say, the Banshee by Rocky.
Yeah. So pretty much, I've added different frequencies. Like this one is 528 hertz. And then you could add another one. It's kind of, I don't know if you can see it that well.
Yeah, I don't see it roll, but we hear it.
So pretty much these, you can use these frequencies to change your, probably the energy around you just with tapping into these frequencies. And there's theories about it that you guys could test out. Plus, it'll prove audio manipulation if that ever happens for you guys, if you get a voice through that. And with none of the banks playing or none of the IP sweeps playing and you get a voice through that, that would be phenomenal. And you just proved it. And then you also have the Lord's Prayer, which is actual words that you can see if you could get in some way. That's another feature. So it's really cool. I like this.
I've seen some investigation teams experiment with low frequency sound on investigations, playing it and seeing if it amps up energy, because there's been theory that low frequency sound could fuel the paranormal too. So I've seen bring in whole speaker systems to play like a very low tone. So these tones you put in, you think could affect the environment.
It can affect you physically also.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I just showed you guys the high frequencies because you're not going to hear the low ones. There's
Right.
2 low ones in here. So you guys could use that too if you guys believe that's what you need to communicate with. Or you can even test it out and create, probably collect data, maybe doing EVP sessions with that running. You don't even have to use it as an ITC app. You could have this running and do EVP sessions. To
That's
see if
what I
that
would
affects
think.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, have it like a tool.
Yeah, as a tool also. So
Yeah.
This app can do more than just be an ITC app now.
Well, EVP to me is its
Right.
own ITC, and that's my favorite kind. And you get that. I've experimented with tones before trying to record EVPs. Didn't have a lot of success, but I do know other investigators have. And it'd be interesting to see what people would get, EVP-wise with those tones playing through. If it does fuel or give the spirits something that they can use to manipulate, for sure. Only thing is, when you do it, just a word of warning, you can about do it for 10 minutes. When you do like at least the low tones, you don't hear it, but remember you got to listen to it playback, and that recorder will pick up the low tone.
Oh yeah, especially if you have a good recorder.
Mm-hmm. You'll hear it on the
like
recorder. You might not hear it with your ears.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And also use good speakers when you play it on here because your cell phone's not going to give it full.
No.
Do. So yeah, plug into good speakers and see what happens. I'm glad.
Well, you broke up there, but when I experimented with it, I used a low tone. I don't remember what frequency it was. It was something the guy who started the first paranormal group I belonged to gave. We were experimenting with different white noise sounds and then low tone sounds. And I brought in we were doing the same place where I saw the Black Mass. And actually, so the night I saw the Black Mass, I had 150 watt speakers playing this low tone into a church. It used to be a church. It's a theater now. But high vaulted ceilings and everything, and this is slightly, you can hear it. It's low, but when you have it going through 150 watt speakers, you do hear it slightly. On the recorders, you really hear it. And that's why I say I recorded it for like an hour of us doing it, but when I had to go back and review it, oh my god, like 10 minutes is the most I'll ever do it again. That's when I first started investigating. We were experimenting with stuff. I haven't ever gotten back to it. But, yeah, I didn't really get anything with it. But I know other investigators have. So it's something I've always wanted to go back to, is experimenting with those low tones and even more white noise.
Yeah, you could deal with 4 different frequencies that's on the app right now. And there's supposed to be like the main different categories of frequency changes. So you get to test each one and see what you can get EVP wise, or maybe even ITC, which would be even crazier, to be honest, because I don't see how that tone could turn into a voice. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, if that happened live, I'd be floored. I think it'd be more generating for EVPs you're going to hear on playback than you're going to hear something live. If it happened, wow, that'd be amazing. But I just doubt it'd be able to manipulate something that low tone.
Yeah, I agree.
Or even high ones.
Yeah. I can't wait to test it out, to be honest. I didn't have that update done when I did my last location for Man vs. Paranormal. So it's not going to be in the film for that update, but definitely going to be in my future investigations. Can't wait.
What do you, you're going to have this documentary coming out, but what do you have planned for the future, or what are you trying to do after the documentary?
Well, after the documentary's done, I'm planning on probably continuing Paranormal Research Unit, of course. Going to continue doing my research, probably push the Man vs. Paranormal film to see if producers are interested. And when I say producers, I mean one that is not going to hire me to do my work and not fake evidence ever. So, which is going to be tough. And if they're interested, I might even sell the documentary in some ways, because I want to make a living out of what I love. You know what I mean? Being a paranormal investigator, and I'm a filmmaker too. So that's my goal, is just doing what I love and try and live off of it somehow, someday, hopefully.
And it's not easy. It's not easy, but there's nothing wrong with trying to do it. You put a lot of work into this, and hopefully you can turn it into something. So it's, you love doing it, but you have to put a lot of money and time of your own into it. So you want to hopefully, it'd be great to be able to do for a living. I'd love to be able to do this show for a living. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I still do it. And I know if you make money off this night, you're still going to do it, but it'd be nice. You got to try. You got to see if, you can get it out there. It's your baby. You got to get it out there for the people to see.
Exactly. I've been trying to plan this for 5 years pretty much.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and then on top of that, thousands of dollars for this film. So it took a long time to get it done, and it finally is pretty much done. I have a couple more principal photography stuff in California, and then I'm done with the film completely. But I have enough to release the trailer now. So I'm done with the investigation stuff.
That's awesome. And do you think after you've done this, you're going to try to do another kind of documentary in the future?
There is a few documentary ideas I have, but I'm going to be working with probably Justin in the Cloud Chamber, trying to see if the Cloud Chamber is possible.
Tell people a little. We've talked about it on the show, but we might have people that have not heard about it before. Tell them a little bit about what you're working with Justin on the Cloud Chamber, because I find that super interesting.
Yeah, the Cloud Chamber is, you guys can look up the information about it. It's actually pretty much producing radiation, decay, and electronic, shoot.
Watch language.
I know. My mind is going blank. but it's pretty much it shows clouds of mine's going blank. So there's radiation decay that shows pretty much, and I have other terms for it, but my mind is going completely blank on it. The radiation decay shows in cloud form, and it's using alcohol and also dry ice, and it's something that I believe could probably work because of its electric charged particles. Okay, there we go. So because of its charged particles, and what if entities and mist apparitions are caused by charged particles in
Can
the
they
air?
use it, is what you're trying to do. See if you can give them something they can use to manifest.
You're breaking it up.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said you're trying to give them entities something they can use to manifest themselves.
Exactly. And the cloud chamber is very hard to build in full-size form. We're still working on it. Actually, Justin and his team are working on it. I'm actually just going to help him fund it, and because it seems like his team knows what he's doing. And the cloud chamber, I'm very, very interested in. I want to make a film about it if it works, and that'll probably be my next film. I also want to film a full documentary about Virginia City, so that's another one I want to do.
Just as a haunted city?
Just pretty much, I love Virginia City. It's actually what created me when it comes to investigating. That's what's got me started. I've had experiences a lot as a kid and everything, but I never decided to become an investigator until that one experience at the Old Washoe Club I had, and that's what officially made me decide to become an investigator. And not only that, I've gone back there. Mackey Mansion is still the most active location I've ever investigated. I want to go back there, and I want to make a full film about Virginia City in general because I love that.
The history alone, the history aspect alone out there is just incredible. And then you add the paranormal and the wood, just everything has absorbed all of that over time. It's just a plethora of exploration.
Yes. You know, that location has its own complete vibe, completely. I love it. Absolutely love it.
No, I was going to say, history, is such a good part of anything paranormal TV show or documentary. I think that makes some of the best is when you incorporate a lot of the history of a location. To me, that's some of the most interesting. It's just a big piece that sometimes is missing from paranormal shows, where they just kind of glaze over the history, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, when it comes to my Virginia City documentary, I think I'm going to focus a lot on the history for this one, obviously, because it's about the city itself and about the paranormal activity there and why it's so amazing and why it's the reason why I'm an investigator today is because of that place. So definitely want to go back there and shoot a full film for it.
That sounds like a winner to me.
Yeah. And what are some of the locations there that are interesting?
Well, Mackey Mansion, like I said,
Mackey
most
Mansion.
active. Old Washoe Club is the one where I got the brick thrown, which is why I got started into this. And then the miner's cabin was really interesting too. A lot of deaths that happened right next to the cabin, and because of and cave-in. I think also a fire too. And then also there was a couple schools there. That's interesting. There's the cemetery that's supposed to have a lot of light cemeteries, is what those cemetery lights. And I've done the cemetery a couple times.
Any lights?
Yeah. Yes, but not captured on camera. Yeah. But very, very interesting for that too. And I have better equipment now than I did when I was a part of Soul Seekers when I went back there a couple times. And so I think I can maybe capture it more because I've higher tech equipment now and better HD cameras, so I might be able to capture it.
It'd be interesting. I'm not big on investigating cemeteries, but there's the ones that have a history, especially as cemetery lights. Like Bachelor's Grove. I've been out there. People have seen lights out there. And, that was on Ghost Adventures. They had the lights show up there on their show. When they were at Bachelor's Grove. That's when I'm really interested in going out to a cemetery. I generally don't care for doing cemetery investigations, but that's one of the times when I'm like totally into it, is when there's light, the ghost lights, and it seems to be common in a lot of these haunted cemeteries.
Here's the thing, yeah, it is, and also the reason why I don't like doing cemeteries is because there's too much contamination of natural phenomena.
Oh yeah,
Natural situations like animals, people from a distance, cars. So many natural stuff can happen in a cemetery, and it's completely debunkable.
Yeah, that's one reason. My main reason for not liking is contamination. My second one is I used to belong to a paranormal group that they would go out to the cemetery once a month, and I would just be like, I'm not going, and because I'm just bored and I'm not going to get anything I can count. Well, they did it one of the times, and I said, you guys go out there way too much. You're going to piss somebody off. Sure as my word said it. There was an article in the paper about going out to the cemetery and people not happy about it. I'm like, see, there you go, because some people are not going to be happy about you going out to their loved ones, stomping around their loved ones' graves, So you got to be careful with it.
Why would a spirit want to hang out at their gravesite?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Especially if it's gone for a long time.
I think there's some cemeteries that just is not really. There's just the location. It feeds something. There's something in some cemeteries where you get these ghost lights that are real and phenomena that's real. There's cemeteries with great history. It's just not all cemeteries are like that.
Or other ghosts that are looking for a place to live. They see a nice, peaceful, like park-like place. It's like, that's a nice, cool place to kick it. And so it's not necessarily them, but a cool place to hang out.
It's true. There's definitely activity that happens in cemeteries. There's definitely some cemeteries on my bucket list I'd love to go see that are have a long history of reported activity. But in general, I don't care. I don't care to go to them just to any old cemetery. Just because it's a cemetery to me is doesn't mean it's haunted.
Exactly.
Most of them actually aren't. The ones I've tried out, I don't feel like that at all. And not only that, I don't like doing cemeteries. I don't like doing outdoor investigations.
No, it's just so hard evidence-wise. Just too much contamination.
Controlled environments is always better, and that's why I would choose a building at any time.
Yeah.
Over outside. And there's a lot.
Yeah, I've gotten some good EVPs outside. One time at a cemetery, I got one. I'd said we pulled up, and like I said, they went to these places too much. It's where clear as day EVP has said they're back. And I was like, see, we go there way too much.
They're here from Poltergeist.
This was their back. Because there were the people. If there were spirits at that cemetery, they were like, oh, geez, here are the ghost hunters again.
Well, if I was a ghost and I was just there to mess around, I would totally just go for like ghost movie quotes. Just to mess with them.
Now, tell people where they can find all your different social media contacts and websites.
Well, since Man vs. Paranormal is the big film, guys, go to Man vs. Paranormal on Facebook, and you'll be seeing the trailer released on it, and also you will be seeing all the other updates on that page.
And you also have a YouTube channel. Is that Devil's Hour Productions?
Yes, Devil's Hour Productions. It's has a lot of a lot of my paranormal research unit videos and Soul Seeker episodes, etc. It has. I want to be doing more on that channel. It's just that lately I've been focused a lot on the film. So when this film is released, I'll be focusing on the channel more. And but right now, Man vs. Paranormal is my main project. Plus, I'm dealing with personal life stuff that I'm trying to deal with. So, it's a lot of stuff on my plate at the moment. Moved out to California, trying to start, a life out here again. So, dealing with a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine trying to move out there and trying to produce get a film done, edited and produced and everything out there while moving, cross country would not be fun. Trying to do all that at once.
Job stuff, and my girlfriend's coming out here later, so I have a lot of personal stuff I have to take care of and figure out too. So,
Well, I can't wait to see the film when it comes out. We'll definitely share it on our Facebook, Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup Facebook page when you do, or you got the trailer. We'll make sure we get it up on there, so let us know. It was great having you on the show, Matt. Definitely want to have you on again. Maybe we'll get you on for another ITC night and try out some of the new features of the Solomon app. Yeah, so thank you so much, Matt, for being on.
No problem. I had fun.
All right, guys, we're going to be back next Sunday. We're going to have guest Debbie Cheney. She's a paranormal radio host herself, I believe an investigator. I don't have her bio in front of me, but we're going to have her on and talk about her experiences in the paranormal and theories as well. Then we'll be getting into December. Now, December is a busy week or busy month for me. So there's going to be the last 2 weeks of December. We will not have Paranormal Soup. So we'll be on a little season break from Paranormal Soup at the end of December. So first few weeks of December, I think we have shows. And then, of course, with Christmas and the New Year, I don't think we're going to have any shows then. So there will be a 2-week break coming up soon for Paranormal Soup, and we'll be back for the new year. But I'm hoping maybe we can squeeze in an ITC show somewhere. If not, we'll have one at the beginning of the new year. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Same bad channel, same bad time. Be sure to check us out on Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup Facebook page. We have our YouTube channel, Paranormal Soup. And check us out on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. Every Sunday night, 10 p.m. to midnight Central Time, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. Have a great night, guys. See you next week.